through our kicker. Algeria now will have a line out, so what do we use it for? Interestingly, it's not a Merrick Tronk who is throwing, it is Rain Barker, the number 8, who is throwing in the line out.
Changing tactic and technique, and they quickly look to exploit out on the open side, trying to break down. Now holding on and impeded here by the steady defense of Namibia. Setting that ball in, Mohamed Reda Ben Lebard finding himself in a spot of bother and brought to the ground. The ball seems pretty held up, but ultimately Algeria retain possession right at the halfway line. The scramble and scuffle is intense here. Still goalless as it is, but you have to admit pretty much gripping stuff. Not a moment to blink. Ball released out on the left flank here, now trying to cut into the inside, but quickly finding space shrinking here. Richard Hardwick, it was.
Good contest from these two teams. Kick in open play, and then you can have your runners up to chase that ball. The chase this time from Namibia not as good as the one from Algeria, but this is the contest, the kind of context you expect from the highest ranked teams playing for a place at the World Cup.
Andre van der Berg looking to provide options alternatively on the boot here, but now for the moment Algeria looking to secure the turnover. A little too enthusiastic in their approach, and they'll get penalized for this instance.
Emerick Tronk was isolated in open space, and Prince Goseb wastes no time pointing for the uprights. Emerick Tronk, strong carry, but his support players left a window open, and in these places we know the teams do not give off too much. Marvin Youssef may try to make the argument that the tackler was still in that zone, but the support delayed, and that's how the turnover has been effected. Good kickers across the board for both teams. Caminati struggled a bit, but Andre van der Berg wasn't making so many mistakes.
It looks like this time it's Cliven Loebseb to take this one. Cliven with just about 20 seconds now left on the clock. Another instance today where we did see the clock run out on one of the kickers. Cliven Loebs makes the kick. Kick is good. First point on the board here for Namibia. Namibia 3, Algeria 0.
Cliven Loebs, a good kicking option in the absence of Andrew Cairns, who was the top try scorer for Namibia. And as well, Tian Swanepoel, who was the kicker for them in that game. Tian Swanepoel will be coming off the bench, so Cliven Loebs are having to lead Namibia from the front of the boot.
Namibia 3, Algeria 0.
Tian Swanepoel, one of the two players that had a 100 percentile kick alongside Ian Pryor of Zimbabwe on game 1. He has to make do with the start on the bench as an infraction here.
Referee Sylvain Mani says the jackler was off his feet, but looking at that, looked like there was an Algerian player attempting a crocodile roll at that breakdown. I'll just take another look at it. Ryan Barker comes in, but then you see the player in the number 15 jersey, Julian Caminati, trying to hinge downwards. Fine margins, but the referee thought it was fair enough as the players had already fallen off their feet.
Another interesting tactical change here, and it's Alexis Renault who goes for the kick, so that instantly signaled it would not be for the Poles. Putting it out into touch. Line out for Algeria, and in a very good position here, just very close to that try line in the 22.
Alexis Renault is very good with kicks in open play. We saw that try assist that he gave Yakin Jebari last Tuesday. Now he's finding touch for them in good territory. Rain Barker to throw.
Barker. Now the ball is in, trying to battle for their way in here as they set the ball up. Just towards the try line as the ball goes away. Is that a try? Referee seems to signal that still open, and that's a try. Algeria draw first blood.
Good response from the Liliensin, the Lion Cubs, against the Velvishers. You can tell from the injection at that set piece. These are teams who know how to plug and play from their structures. Algeria working hard in open play after winning that line out. Then it's shuffled through the hands. Fast carry from Rain Barker, or rather Samir Kabush, and then quick ball out by Ghislaine Kayel. Gives it to the big man, then the offload in open play. The soft skills, Mohamed Abdelhamid Makri with the first try of the semi-finals.
Just what the doctor ordered here for Algeria to get their blood flowing. And in a space of less than 3 minutes, both teams have been able to shake the defenses and get points on the board. But it's Algeria who do have their tails wagging in front.
Julian Kabinati makes no mistake of the kicking. He is already doing better than he did last Tuesday, missing his first two. He has kicked his first.
Algeria also coincided with having been one of the teams that in the 2024 edition managed to finish off a game and win, having scored less tries. It was against one of the other teams that's in the semi-finals and will be up next against the defending champions. That was Kenya. 2012, if memory serves right, in that particular game. Ryan Barker with a big kick. And that travels well over the line here, and that's a line out.
Like we mentioned at the start, this is a game for those who like the pure contests in rugby, set piece, structures. Algeria and Namibia are showing us that they are a class apart from the competition. This is only just the first semi-final. The second semi-final will bring a different breed of rugby, Eastern Africa against Southern Africa.
It presents for a very interesting read here, especially with the different flavors and styles of play. So a semi-final that definitely is going to serve up 4 different facets of the game. It's going to be interesting to see how they actually tag out to play in this one. And at the moment, so far, Algeria are looking to match for pace, at least Namibia. Tactically, still a very intriguing game. By no means anywhere near decided.
I love to sum it up with the theme of this year's tournament, feel the African spirit. You can feel it from the energy in the atmosphere around the city. Excited about the tournament, the fans in the stands, but also on the pitch with how the players are pushing up against each other and playing. Nadir Megdud to the boot again. This time finds grass in the right place and wins some territory for the Algerians. Good on-off choice of kick with that low drive off his right boot, Nadir Megdud.
In the meantime, just taking a glance out of our commentary booth, it's the arrival of the Algerians, the Kenyans. Sorry, the arrival, yes, of the Algerians. The Kenyans, their counterparts, who they'll be taking on in just a couple of minutes, arriving much earlier and managing to catch the game against Uganda.
I think you meant the Zimbabweans there on the bus.
Oh.
But
they
yeah,
did trouble in the wrong bus, yeah? That's Zimbabwe. Yeah,
we have all the teams in now at the Mandela National Stadium. For some, the tournament is already over. They will not be going to the World Cup. For others, especially these two starting now, it's going to be a clear contest for that one ticket to Australia 2027.
Well, for others, there's still quite a lot to play for in there, including a chance to remain among the top tier. The relegation battle is going to be a real intense one come Saturday. But here comes a quick break here with a chance to try and head towards the try line. Good play here from Algeria's Samir Karbuch as they lose possession. Well, getting into the 22, looking to hedge their bets and edge on. Algeria keeps the dummy, but no one is buying, and Namibia look to bring the house down on Marvin Youssef. Marvin Youssef there just standing on the side awaiting, and now they'll attempt to go for a drop kick. It's a bit of a distance, and in the end, well, you can only accumulate if you do speculate, but this time that was more of a Hail Mary for Algeria, and that ball goes out of bounds.
Hugo Verdu going for the drop kick was about 38 meters, way off the mark, to be honest. But one of the things that signal sends to the Namibians is that you cannot afford to give away any penalties in such territory. You cannot afford to give the backline any space because they will be taking the drop goals. We saw Kenya sink Uganda with 2 drop goals. Algeria are looking to maybe do the same, plug away against Namibia early on.
So 22 minutes it is, already past the halfway mark in this half. And just 18 minutes left to play, a couple of seconds here. Still very tight game. 4 points difference actually.
You know, we saw a water break in the first game, Uganda against, in the second game rather, Uganda up against Morocco.
The referee signals here for a high tackle. Yeah.
I believe the teams, especially in their preparations, they call for those water breaks given the conditions. I wonder if Algeria and Namibia have asked for a water break as well to see maybe if they can get a chance for a breather, but then also regroup and see how they can manage the second stanza of this game.
Well, if they asked for it, then clearly it hasn't been offered just as yet. But if you've noticed, a couple of the teams prefer it in the final 10 minutes of the game. That's when they get that water break in there. Because we've already hit the 20th minute mark and not much in there.
Conditions are pretty tough. It's 26 degrees. As humid as can possibly get. It's hot as well. The temperatures might be reading 26, but for Ugandans, this is close to 27, 28, to be honest. And I can imagine maybe it could be the same for the players that are on the pitch, given that that's the surface they're playing on.
And it's a try here for Namibia. They managed to wrestle their way there and ultimately did put that down. And the captain, Prince Goseb, leading by example on the front line, manages to get the Namibian well-wishers right back into the front.
We're going on about the conditions, but Prince Goseb was making it difficult for the Algerians off that rolling maul and drive. Algeria caught second best. Prince Goseb breaks through the middle and he fights, keeps pumping his legs. Rain Baka is trying to make that tackle, but the captain too strong and dives and crashes over for a responding try. Namibia ahead by just 1 point, conversion to come.
Haven't been many dead balls in this particular matchup. Both teams ensuring that they're playing their better rugby and no need to actually break up the ball. But now here comes a chance to convert. Long ball in, and that's just sent out wide.
Cleveland Lobsha unable to convert, but the try came from Prince Goseb, the captain. Scores Algeria 7, Namibia 8.
Well, game restarts now, and Namibia still leading by the odd 1 point now after having wrestled the lead away from Algeria's Lion Cubs. That ball is put into touch. And that's an opportunity here for Algeria to venture forward towards the half of Namibia and try to take full advantage as the referee now brings the ball back to play for an earlier infringement and will signal a scrum there. As they do prepare to get into this one, we do remind you, be your own investor with MTN Momo. Investors low as 1,000 and earn daily interest. And you can withdraw your money anytime you want to. No paperwork needed. Simply dial *165 *6# and select investor or use the MTN Momo app. Algeria will now have to invest in some muscles of their own to make sure that they keep Algeria at bay, and no guessing, they'll definitely put those kicking boots to good use to try and get that ball out of their own territory and put them once again in the hunt against the Lion Cubs. And that's strong play. Managed to hold their own, and Algeria will find themselves in a spot of a bother.
There's a bit of pressure coming in from the Namibian tight head. Pressure came in first time, the first shove, as you can see from from Namibia, and then the Algerians try to respond, but they are tight-head on the far side, just in front of the referee, collapses off at the front and gives away a penalty. And that is what Sylvain Mane is trying to communicate, that the back and forth before the ball is fed in is not necessary. I need a stable scrum, and then after that you can have the contest. Collapsing the call it is against Yassine Boutemani, who came second best in that back and forth.
Kick good. And we have a line out here. Both teams are tracking towards the byline there quite eagerly to get the game rolling on once again. Namibia with the line out here. Well, Victor deliver good ball, easily picked up here, and Algeria now have to watch their back line here as a steady defense of Namibia looking to race in, played back. Theron makes the kick, now looking to joust for that ball and picking it up right out of mid-air. Lacroix Malan as gets the ball away. This could be a quick run through for Namibia. Try time. Cleven Lobsa makes it continue to tick for Namibia. The Velvicha have found their wings and are now up in flight.
It's that clear contest from the two teams. Ball goes up in the air, contestable, well chased by the midfielder. Loru Maran pops backwards, then the pass, basketball pass over the top to Cleven Lubsa, and he had an easy line to the try area. You can see that contest from Namibia on those kicks is what we've been talking about from the very start, that the teams are playing in middle territories, back and forth against each other. You put up a good kick that is contestable, the opportunities will be there, and Namibia have struck on that.
You have to give full credit to Malan there. Did see the opportunity, kept the chase and contested for it without seize, and got his dividends for that. Well, now a chance for Cleven to extend their lead, and with the slightest of margins, just almost shaving that ball. Now it's a double over Algeria with a point to spare, 7-15.
That's a beautiful kick from Cleven Lubsa. You've got to give him credit for what an effort from the touchline. The teams are not leaving anything to chance. Algeria scored, conversion well and done. Namibia missed maybe just one, but you can see from how efficiently they are playing that they will not be missing many opportunities.
Question is now, who of these two will be able to hold their nerve and carry it on and contest for a spot at the World Cup in the final? Still quite a bit of time before they can even get their heads thinking about that World Cup spot. To be approximate, exactly 15 minutes or so between now and then. Less than an hour. And destiny could be decided. Ball brought in, quick pickup here from Algeria. Looking now to respond in equal measure, twisting and turning, but still retaining possession. Nice pick here from Guilen. Just manages to get that ball, and there's a nice kick. Brilliant.
From Julian Caminati. I thought Julian Caminati had maybe overkicked it, but he measured it to the point like a vernier calipers. Just knew how much distance he needed, how much grass he needed to keep it on the playing field, bounce it on and off.
Good pickup. And releasing the ball, Enzo Kralfa. As they now release the ball, now looking to set the motion. Almost sold the dummy, but then thought twice about it and relinquishes possession.
Referee Sylvain Mane put the whistle in his mouth but didn't blow it. I thought the player there was off his feet, but it's play on and Namibia have the advantage. Hugo Veldu rescuing the Algerians just, but he's done that off his feet. He needs to play the ball while he is on his feet.
Well, valiant effort there, but in the end, comes to turn out to be nothing routing there. Big kick into touch. It's a chance to contest for another line out here for Namibia. Made a very good account of themselves here in the first 31 minutes of play. Possession now, Algeria looking to carry forward. That looked like a high tackle there. Enzo Kralfa seems to indicate that to the referee, but he lets play continue.
The advantage will be for the knock forward, meaning it's still Algeria's possession. As Team Senegal depart the Mandela National Stadium, they will be facing Morocco in that 5th place playoff.
Mission accomplished for the day.
They've seen enough. They know what is coming up and they know what they have to offer.
They also know what they'll have to do. In the meantime, bit of medical attention here getting offered to Algeria's Yassine Boutemani. We'll just give you a heads up in here. Omo proudly sponsors the Rugby African Cup as Uganda's teams battle on the mud and sweat. Remember, that is good. And Omo keeps your jerseys fresh. Join the excitement, join and chant, "Go Uganda, go Omo," unbeaten on stains. The fans in here still holding their breath. By no means this game anywhere near done. So quite a bit of tense moments to anticipate up ahead as we now head into the scrum with just about 7 minutes left to play in this half.
This first half has dragged on. There's been 3 scores, but you might think we've been here for an hour. Slow but steady for those who are maybe used to the flair of some fancy rugby, especially sevens on this African continent. You'll be forgiven for thinking it's been a bore, but when you see such beautiful scrums, then you get to know that there are some things to be excited about. But they've not been in such high measure. Maybe we'll get to see more as the clock ticks on.
I think a lot of it has been a lot of alternating of pace, slow, methodical, and then quickly pushing it up and trying to get the pitch space properly utilized, and then at times just grinding up and upping the ante. It's been one of those situations. And Algeria with the kick. And they put that long clearance here. Oh, we're looking to put it into touch, but Namibia are quite alert to the possibility. They get back onto the front foot. Julian Saji Kaminati with a big kick here. Ball bouncing. And Namibia will dash to keep it from trudging over the line.
Looking for that 50-22. Now everyone needs to get onside. An easy play for Algeria, who are looking to catch everyone offside, but Kaminati goes to the boat, and now there's a reset. The tables have turned. Namibians are offside, then the kick, then the Algerians are offside, and now there's a free play for the team in blue.
Cleven with a big kick there and looking to secure space here. In the end, it's just not going their way once again. Algeria almost making a slip up, and Namibia look to punish them, but the referee will probably bring that back. Does he? No, he doesn't. Does that count as a try? Yes, it does. Well, in the very strangest of circumstances, well, Richard seems to signal that knock-on.
Yes.
Yeah, finally bring it back.
Looked like a knock-on from first principles. The bounce of the rugby ball, tricky.
Algeria
Danny
7.
van der Merwe giving it a good chase. Julian Caminati too casual, and the pickup from Danko Barga, he loses it forward. Double knock on it. Still in Namibia possession, but Algeria, they now know they can't leave the ball to bounce. They've always known, but now with a chase from such players like van der Merwe who do not give up, and Danko Barga from outer nowhere, Julian Caminati, pressure on him. Algeria have survived another score.
Scrum with 4 minutes left to play before the two teams can trek off to the dressing rooms for a much-needed break and a chance to galvanize body, mind and soul to the wheel of the task at hand. Still Algeria 7, Namibia 15. Just to remind you, rugby fans, Rock Boom is Uganda's #1 premium energy drink and is bringing the energy to the pitch as the official energy partner of Uganda Rugby Union. We're talking unstoppable energy on the pitch and in the stands as our rugby warriors battle it out in the Rugby Africa Cup here at the Mandela National Stadium. So come feel the power, test the bold Rock Boom energy and cheer all our boys all the way to victory. Rock Boom energizes your game. Kick for Algeria. And get straight back to Namibia, who will welcome an opportunity to storm once again into the terrain of Algeria. Hoping to overload out on the right, and they give the ball away. And this could be a chance, but this is a very strong run here from Enzo Kralfa. Just carried it as far as it could go. Not much support in there, but what an intercept.
Yeah, Algeria tried to exit their own area instead of a scrum. It's a goal line dropout from that point. Namibia reset with that counter-attack, shuffle it through the hands, but Kralfa is very smart. Not the fastest of men, big as he is. Puts a hand out in open space and goes for a foot race. Puts it to the boot. He will make the claim that he was tackled late, but that's a ball and player already in motion. Namibia, what a chase from them. But look at Kralfa, measured his attempted intercept. He's not the fastest of men. He's being chased by Danko Barga. Barga makes the tackle. And Andre van der Berg was looking to exit, but ultimately play had to be stopped there as there's lots of players who are coming in from a different place and the referee needs to consult with his assistant referee. This is a game which will also check how much we've read into the World Rugby regulations and laws. They're ever changing, to be honest. From that goal line dropout, now we have the referee signaling to the captain of Namibia, Prince Goseb, that we had players arriving at the breakdown through the side.
Deliberation's done and looks like that's a scrum now.
We'll have to be very sharp with how we interpret these regulations, because these are some of the smartest teams that we have on the continent.
Two teams in the top 4, each looking for a spot to get to the final. One thing you can absolutely guarantee is every single advantage, any single loophole they can use that's conceded within the laws of the game, they will put it to good use. Algeria still in possession, and referee there signals that they did commit an infraction in favor of Namibia. 2 minutes left on the clock. It's a chance for Namibia to kick.
Sylvain Mani is one referee who will allow that contest to go on. In the previous game, we saw him not giving the reward, but in this one, after the ball wasn't won by Namibia, pops out on the Algerian side, he gave that penalty to the Namibians.
So line out as we get into the final minute of play. It's a long ball. It's a battle there, heavily contested as the ball is lost out here from Namibia to Algeria. Looking to swing out to the open side here and probably exploit some spaces to put in a good foot race, but that looks like a ball lost forward.
We struggled to see any of these teams put up more than 3 phases Second phase, maybe it's kicked away because there is no gain in territory. Third phase, handling error here and there. Now there's Nadir Megdud looking for that offload. It's not on. He second guesses himself and loses the ball forward.
Go back to the line out here at Wolby.
There goes that halftime hooter. It's going to be the last play of this half. Scrum feed to Namibia.
Well, anytime now, the hooter should be coming through, and Algeria already know that they're in the last phase of play as it stands now, 40th minute, and that ball is put into touch. The referee signals halftime here, and quite the fix that Algeria do find themselves in here. They took the lead, and for the moment, they looked like they were in the driving seat after wrestling away from Namibia. But a strong fight back from Namibia, allowing the Welbreacher to get well and truly into top form. For many, they'll be wondering, Algeria, can they get clicking? Can they get their better men back on the game? Haven't seen a lot from their normal star players, when the likes of Nadir not able to put in as good a shift as normally anticipated, as well as Julian Caminati also unable to put in the usual shift expected of him. And so Namibia will now have the advantage as they head into halftime. Halftime here in the Rugby Africa Cup 2025 at the Mandela National Stadium in Kampala, Uganda. It's Algeria 7, Namibia 15. Let's head to pitch side for the halftime analysis.
in this first semi-final. Back underway without any further ado. Hugo Verdu did not have much time to wait, lest he gives away a free kick, and Algeria have gone deep on their chest. They trail by 17 points after the break. And Namibia, just like we saw the first half started, will receive that kick and exit. Not into touch, but keeping it on the playing field. And there goes Julien Caminati, a bit too eager, looking for that drop goal from the halfway line, kicks it across. And the attack is returned by his opposite number, Cleven Lubsa. Caminati again, this time keeping it on the playing field, well fielded by Namibia. It's going to be a kicking contest, up and under. The chase is on from Van der Merwe. Van der Merwe makes a thumping tackle on Caminati, and Hugo Verdu has to kick the ball into touch as the pressure was building on Lelianso. But what a tackle from Van der Merwe on the chase, forcing that handling error. Namibia will restart on the upper hand in this scrum.
Algeria 7, Namibia 15.
Well, into that scrum. The referee not happy with proceedings here and signals that scrum will have to be retaken. It looks like Algeria were quickly looking to make a shift in the scrum and not pushing uniformly. Once again, back to the scrum. Ball fed into the scrum. Taking a little more tenacity here before they do deliver, and finally ball put out here. A chance to race forward here for Namibia. That's good play from Hardwick. The ball is set through. Trying to battle for this one. Van der Hoosten gets it away. And Namibia still in possession. The Welwitcher. That's good play from Van der Berg, trying to get forward, but loses that possession in mid-play. And Algeria able to momentarily repel Namibia back out of their 22. Hard tackle there. Oliver Kuz comes to the ground as they try to venture in again.
Those are those double tackles we talked about in the first half. The teams are ensuring that you make the tackle, but you also stop the offload.
Oliver looking to get forward. How it rolls through. Who's available? Set away. Now on the ground. Looks like the unpleasantries continue out on the ground here. Referee has no say about that as they'll continue. Well, it's a big man's game.
Sylvain Manis, the referee, you know, will leave the action to continue until he sees a no end to it, no clear end to it.
And now the release is on, perfectly timed, gets the ball, passed out to the side. That looks like a high tackle right at the neck. I'm wondering how the referee let that go. Danko Berger found himself in a chokehold. That would definitely have a lot of approval in the UFC. Looking to release the ball. Another tackle there impeding Namibia's move towards the try line.
They have advantage, Namibia, a free play. They can now send it out to the backs.
Pass. Sending it out here. Good play coming in from Cliven. Just to sell the dummy and gain a few inches, and now releases the ball. Van der Berg. Van der Berg. Possession. Needs to pass that way. Referee keeping a beady eye on this ball that seems finally able to be relinquished here. Namibia Out on the right, now swinging once again back to the left. Quickly support system always out there. And this time, there'll be no denying them. They're still held on to the ball. It looked like there'll be no denying. But ultimately, yes, they do manage to deny them the opportunity to ground that.
That was a beautiful try-saving tackle from Algeria. The pass was so good. Skipped out through one player to the Jagenmeyer at the wing. And I thought Jagenmeyer was over, but what a try-saving tackle. Look at that pass cutting out to defenders. Maga is in, but what a tackle.
Well, don't you think he made that a little too complicated for himself? After the fast dribble, sending his marker off the line, should have just dived for that line. Instead, looked like, well, he wanted to make it picturestic. In the end, it ended up being nothing short of catastrophic.
That was good defense from Algeria. You've got to give them credit for that.
And now substitution is in the offing here for Algeria. Mehdi Slimani is the man set to come on. As in the meantime, there's a penalty here for Namibia. Chance to extend their lead.
Yeah, Namibia had a free play of that advantage. That's why the ball went all the way to the backs.
Well, the kick is good for Namibia, and they add an extra 3 to their mark.
The penalty is
There's the
by
substitution.
For Namibia.
Substitution here
Namibia
for
to 18. Algeria has 7. Namibia also makes a change.
the team Namibia.
Oliver Kaz is off for Adrian Lodik.
Oliver Kuz substituted here for Namibia. And wait to get confirmation on who exactly is the player that will be coming on.
And just out of commentary, both we get to see Cote d'Ivoire leaving. They have as well decided that they won't be waiting for the Cup semi-finals. Probably catch them on NBA Sport from their hotel room. Cote d'Ivoire will be facing Uganda. Loser in that game gets relegated.
Referee signals for knock-on here. And ball will be brought back to the prior position here for a scrummage. In the meantime, in case you find yourself in a fix and you need a financial, well, leverage bail through, well, logbook financing is exactly what can get you the trick. And that is courtesy of Platinum Credit, where you can borrow using your logbook and get yourself out of that fix. Just dial the USSD code *249# and manage to get that sorted in a bit. Platinum Credit, your partners in finance. Scrummage it is. Algeria still trailing to Namibia. Namibia consistently building on. Every time you feel like Algeria are finding their groove, Namibia just find a way to kick it a gear higher and consistently staying the team in ascendance.
Yeah, that is what is the making of a team who have gone to the World Cup 7 times in a row. They know how and when to win.
Long kick. This will be chesty. That was a brilliant kick in the end. Top draw from Namibia.
50-22. That is one of the exciting laws and law changes the World Rugby effected just after COVID. You win possession just like they did from that scrum. And look at that heavy carry from Danko Barga leading from the front. Sends it out to his midfield partner with his left boot, Leroux Malan. Julian Caminati again not looking like he's giving it a good chase, but the roll of the ball was ultimately going to beat him.
Leroux Malan is one who's definitely left many imprints of his ability on this particular game. We did see him putting up some surgical precision in the first half, and now in the second half, with what many would have anticipated was a get out of jail attempt, turns out to be turning defense into attack in one motion. to the ground. Looking to carry play forward here. Namibia still have possession. Moving that ball a little faster. But referee will call that back here for an early infringement. Very antsy faces there on the technical bench here of Namibia.
Substitution for Algeria. Medi.
Still feel like this is not affirmatively secured. And that means quite easily, not a locked-in ticket to the chance to battle for the final or to battle for a position at the World Cup. What will they signal here? Looks like calling for a kick.
Penalty to Namibia.
Well, a kick it is. Kick for Namibia, and Cliven will be the one to take this one. Algeria seem to find themselves in quite a predicament as one of their players here is limping gingerly. 50 minutes on the clock, just 10 shy of the hour. Namibia have a chance now to enter 20s if they can convert this. Cliven, good kick. And it counts. 21 Namibia.
Like we saw on the opening day with Tian Swanepoel 100%, he's on the bench, but his second option of the team, Cleven Loops, has not made any mistake with the penalties, slotting them through comfortably. Now Namibia, will say they have 21 points on the board. Algeria with just 7 makes it a 2-try score, as we see one of the Lyonceurs struggling to put a foot down. Injury has come to hurt the Algerians in this game.
Big kick here, unable to continue. Fortunately, looks like that's the end of the game for Mohamed Reda Ben Labad.
Yeah, that's at the front row. The loose head.
The referee. A quick moment to regroup here for Algeria as they try to figure out how to go about with this particular line out. Barker to deliver. Gets the ball in. Held up. They do manage to get the ball all the way here to the back row. But Namibia not falling for the decoy in that maul. Possession still here with Algeria. Instantly released, now looking to switch attacks and trying to go through the center. Instantly repelled. Just look at how Namibia anticipate that attack on the open side. The overload on that end.
You can see the forwards folding, but now a return to the short side. Now look at the defense scampering to cover all those spaces.
Kaminati caught. Algeria still in possession. Gillen tries to release the ball quick. Now caught in no man's land. Mohamed Yakin Jabari plays the ball on. Nice pickup here from Emerick Tronk. Looking to roll away out onto the far end, trying to dive in. They lose possession now, set 2 in motion. Skipping away from one and then brought down, trudged down, and passes the ball from the ground. Back onto the game here, Reda Ben Labad.
Algerians are working backwards. The Namibian defense is applying a lot of pressure and forcing them to attack behind the gain line. You have the possession, but it's not materializing. You have no choice but to look for other ways to make use of it. We've seen Namibia score a try off the kick, up and under chase. We've seen Julien Kaminati put up a good 50-22, but now in this second half they're looking to grind in the phases. And Ben Labad, who was already looking like he was walking off, comes back onto the playing field, but it's likely that he has had his final contribution in this game.
plenty of pain in here, but they'll definitely have to find a way to carry on. For the rest of the players now, they need to find that extra gasp of energy. And if energy is the name of the game, then Rock Boom is Uganda's #1 premium energy drink that is bringing the energy to the pitch as the official energy partner of the Uganda Rugby Union. We're talking about unstoppable energy on and off the pitch and in the stands as the Rugby Warriors battle it out in the Rugby Africa Cup at the Mandela National Stadium. So come, feel the power, test that bold Rock Boom energy and cheer the boys all the way to victory. Rock Boom energizes your drink. Line out here for Algeria. Well, they seem a bit slow to response. Can't be already dejected at this point. Still plenty to play for in this one.
They aren't, but I think the move is once we get on the line out, we quickly go up in the air without any much discussion, and surely that's what the plan is going to be. It's a 6+1 line out, so all the men are in it. Rain Barker is taking on hooking duties. He's the 8th man, but we shall have to see a change for a Merrick Tronk. Oh, that looks like Mohamed Reda Ben Lebad in that #1 jersey, and the yellow boots, cannot miss them.
Tracking off here, and it is Jalil Agweni, shot number 16, that comes in to take his place. Earlier on, we also did notice that the captain is off the pitch, Ivan Yusuf. Or is he right in the thick of things? Right at the heart of the action.
Of course,
Ball was stolen by the Namibians, but they've been forced into touch. Good maul defense. Algeria are looking for that #2 option at the front of the line out, but Namibia didn't wait much long before putting up a contest. They had their hands on the ball, ripped it backwards, but they were forced into touch as the pressure kept piling from the attackers.
The big man is on the ground but manages to get back, scampering onto his feet and still moving a little gingerly. At this point, it's where the human body begins to remind you that it's not built to take up such knocks. And Jabari Mohamed Yakin is the latest to feel the effects here. Set the ball in motion. Quick pick up, rolling away. Wien. Conradi there managed to secure possession, and now a chance. And he thought he would go for the kick. Ooh. Makes a mistake there, but fortunate for Namibia, they're not penalized on that.
Well, the flagpoles and the tackle pads, rather the pole shields are already there, so they are considered to be part of the playing field. You throw the ball onto it, it's open play, but the Algerian defense, the players who are not in that line out, crept up offside. And perhaps that is what Andre van der Berger was thinking about in carrying that ball forward instead of kicking. A bit of a surprise, but he misjudged that pass. And so Namibia just lucky to maintain possession. They have the penalty. Now bring on their big men, especially after that set piece.
That's a good kick here from Andre van der Berg. Puts it into touch.
Change for Namibia.
Looked like I saw the captain, Prince Goseb, in that #6 jersey, jogging off.
Prince Gosben.
It's Danny van der Meer who comes to take his place. Alongside him, Torsten. Torsten. Well, there's the other substitution.
Was number 16
off the pitch.
Torsten van on for Louis van.
Torsten van Jaarsveld. Quick reception of the ball. Looking to, well, kick that up high. Ball goes into touch, and that will be a line out. It's a game we expected to have quite a bit of the pace, but there's been a lot of start-stop here and very premeditated, calculated moves. no one is leaving anything to chance. No recklessness, no need for individual ingenuity. It's all about staying rigidly structured.
Yeah, this is the game which is for the rugby purists. Some will call it boring. Too many scrums, too many lineouts, too many set plays, too many kicks. People would love to see the sidesteps and all, but the more these teams size up themselves, the more they hold back a bit, not wanting to experiment and try some new moves or anything. And you'd not forgive them for trying out that strategy, but the time is going to come, maybe close to the full-time whistle, where they will need to get that handbrake off and play for their lives.
Well, the adrenaline junkies look away. This may not be one for you until much later on. But for the moment, Algeria are looking to press the issue here. And Benjamin Kaminati was the man there who had possession as the ball is recycled out here, trying to roll themselves towards the 22. Namibia find themselves having to trek back quickly. Nadir under pressure here. Dowd losing that ball there. Has it come to cost them, as there's a kick, and that's a knock-on? Should be a knock-on there at the expense of Richard Hardwick.
Hugo Verdu trying to make the claim that he needed the advantage, but I thought there was also an earlier knock-on in the tackle there. Sylvain Mane says we shall take the mark at the second knock-on.
Well, there's the instance that ultimately led to that knock-on. Meantime, another substitution primed to get into the fray for Algeria, throwing all their assets onto the pitch. Camille Origba will be the one who's expected to come in just a bit here, shot 19, make his contribution to the game. I get the feeling now Algeria might have to start experimenting a bit with that flair. Put the hands off the handbrake, go all gas out here and try to see if you cannot plug Namibia into a little falsehood of insecurity.
Yeah, they need to up the tempo a bit. Maybe the players coming off the bench. It's 20 minutes on the clock left to play. They need to score. It's a 2-score game rather. But they need to score now to make it a bit of a challenge, to give Namibia something to think about rather than the security of knowing we are still in a safe zone.
Gillen is one who feels like looks fresh, especially with the way he's tucked in and his uniform hardly a stain there. If only the same could be said of their scoreboard.
Oh, it looked like a forward pass, and then a second
nice
one as
pick
well.
Up there. Seeing Botemani managed to pick that out of mid-air.
So those passes were forward. Referee only managing to catch the second.
And there the substitutes do trek on. Camille Boreba coming in, as well as Mexoud. Eichmann Mexoud also coming on, and change here. It looks like the man actually just made an attempt to pick that ball up there. Yassine Botemani, very jolly character, by the way. Shot 3. There's endless stories, even when the language is not quite familiar to you.
I like seeing such rugby players. Big, has a big upper body. There's some power in those legs. And then, of course, what makes a good scrummager is that full beard. Most of the good scrummagers, you're thinking when you meet him around the pitch, there's no second guessing which position he plays. And also he's bald. Aging like fine wine, the props do. So.
Well, in the meantime, you do not have to have a beard to be an investor. You can be your own investor with MTN Momo. Invest in as low as 1,000 and earn daily interest. And you can withdraw your money anytime you want. No paperwork needed. Simply dial *165 *6 hash and select investor or use MTN Momo app. Referee signaling to get the two teams into that scrum as they do pre-position themselves to engage. It's going to be the first test here for the new substitutes here for Algeria, Itham and Camille. Just walked on. Fully locked in. Namibia still have possession. That scrum wasn't going anywhere, not giving any inch, not giving any quarter. And now Algeria look to pick the pieces and now trying to carry that ball out of their own 22. Is a good run being put in here by Benjamin Kaminati. Finally makes the kick. Must be something pretty special about the name.
I wonder if they are of any relation, because that's not the... That's the surname, actually.
Yeah. So, would be a good question there, maybe, for the post-match interview. It's going to the ground here. Guilen quickly released. Algeria trying to swing that ball around and put themselves in the right structure to go. Oof, miscued and could come to cost them. Quickly intercepted again by Benjamin Kaminati and tries to carry it forward and
intercept.
Lost. Namibia, I don't know if it's just me, but the hugest number of intercepts we have seen in this Rugby Africa tournament tend to come from that particular corner, right from day one.
Yeah, I wonder why as well.
Now that's going to be counted as a knock-on.
The referee's flag is up for an infringement after the whistle. Rain Barker is in there saying something to Andre van der Berg for having
barged into his teammate there. It wasn't a very sporting play from Richard Hardwick.
And that's Marvin Youssef saying something to Mane. I know Mane will not give away much.
There you go, just...
that was unnecessary from Andre van der Berg. Unnecessary penalty can even turn into a yellow card. And you can see Talent Gandiwa at the right place at the right time, puts his flag out. But the referee today is very lenient. And penalty will stay to the side of Namibia. Then lenient, not giving the yellow card, but not in awarding the penalty. Penalty changes over from Namibia to Algeria for that shove after the whistle had gone. You could say fair. You would want the referee to be a bit harsher, but fair call at the end of the day.
Sometimes you just need to let the game continue to flow. And the cards seem to put it in a fair bit of a predicament. As we did see in the game before, where we had both captains in the sin bin at the same time. Must be an interesting position to be. I really would have wanted to have a microphone in that area to find out just what they would say to each other, if anything.
Ashaba and Byron Oketayot.
Yeah.
A bit of a disappointment in how they've led their teams today, but of course more painful for the Rugby Cranes, who are now staring relegation in the face.
Well, defiant they are as they try to get the push on this one, trying to maintain momentum and find their way. Flanging, but that just doesn't hold up here. And look at that human carnage. Bodies piled on top of each other. You'd think it's a demolition derby day.
Yeah, the Algerians rather brought the ball down themselves. Rain Barker had it in his hands, went down, collapsed by Jalil Ageni, and Rain Barker continued moving forward. Referee gave nothing away, and the Namibians ensured that that ball was unplayable. They win a very strong and good turnover from just 5 meters. They'll have to exit with the scrum. But it is these fine margins where the team which does not give away anything always comes out on top, and that's what Namibia have done. They know that the referee will not reward any half calls, so they made sure that they gave Rain Barker no room.
Well, we'll win no prizes for what I'm about to say, but at the end of the day, still our task. Little time on the clock here. The clock against Algeria. We're basically looking at about 16 minutes at the end of the game. They have to find and engage that gear now.
That scrum needs a reset. Jalil Ageni not getting the correct bind. with his opposite number in the scrum cup. Rain Barker started at 8th man, he's now a hooker. So you'd expect that energy at the front row for a man who has been on for 60 minutes. He's going to be feeling that full force.
Well, very unhappy character today. Julian Saje Kaminati was hooked off earlier on, and if you know anything about him, will not be a very happy character that he couldn't get to play a part in this game. It's been largely an nondescript performance from him, which is a rarity.
He's had a bad performance, to be honest. Not bad, but below par. Kaminati,
at least by his standards.
At least by the standards from last year as well. But his forwards were still on the pitch standing up. They've won a scrum penalty for collapsing at the front there. Rain Barker is a big ball carrier. Algeria know that they won't get a second chance at that scrum, so they opt for the tap and go.
Ryan Barker right at the forefront. Taps the ball, gets ready to go. Has the support that they need, trying to run a short charge towards that try line, and now they do have the numbers, but Namibia hanging on for dear life. That ball is held up there according to the referee.
That's always the tactic for the team defending their line. Instead of trying to force the attacker away from the try area, welcome him in, hold him up and ensure he doesn't ground the ball. Then you will get a goal line dropout to exit that red zone. And that's what Namibia have done. The first carry kept it away from the line, but when the impeding force of the forwards started arriving, they conceded and decided, especially the small men, the midfielders. You can see them in there working hard, 12 and 13 and 10 as well. Then put a man under the body and ensure that the ball is not grounded. Danko Barga, good defense.
That was Leroux Malan shot that in. That instigated the entire move. Again, you cannot give this man enough plaudits. He's been a real mastermind working behind the shadows towards Namibia's charge towards the final.
Looks like the ball's been lost forward at the mall, at the back breakdown there. One hand, 1 foot in the way of the scrum half, and it's a handling error.
Oh, substitution here, and Namibia getting reinforcements here. Tian Shwanepol coming on, as well as Haitembu Shikufa also coming in. Two speedsters, but one of them with a 100 percentile off his boot comes in here for the final 13 minutes or so of the game. You begin to think that they didn't really need him much in this one and decided to keep him for later performances. Of course, Danny van der Meer, one of those that comes off, and another substitute here, Sydney Halupe, is introduced here for the Wilvicha.
One thing about Namibia is they came into this tournament, they came in last on Monday morning, missed their captain's run, but won their first game on Tuesday comfortably. And you can imagine they've slowly but steadily flown under the radar. They are just 12 minutes away from another final in the Africa Cup. Of course, we've mentioned it, we know the power that they bring, but the fashion in which they've done it, slow but steadily, the highlights and the media are focusing on Zimbabwe, the defending champions, but Namibia are slowly but steadily showing that they are the force to reckon with. And I look forward to seeing how this game ends, but then most importantly, who will stand up to face them in the final come Saturday next week.
Well, they had a largely nondescript first half in their first game, and that was something that was quickly drilled into them at halftime, at least according to the conversation we did have with their captain there, reminding them that they had to step it up. And since then, from the second half of the first game up to now, they've constantly been engaging and shifting in gears and getting better and better. But now they are merely 12 minutes away from the finals and a chance to secure an 8th World Cup slot.
Algeria piling on the pressure. They're not making it easy for Namibia. It's the second time we've seen a scrum penalty against the loose head rather, for Namibia. And now maybe the captain will get to listen to what the referee has to say, because that's repeated infringements at that scrum down. Animated
discussion here. between the captain Danko Baga and the referee. In the meantime, looks like this man will just not die. They talk about the proverbial 9 lives of a cat. Well, this man might just have 12 or 15 on him. Mohamed Reda Ben Labad.
The Algerians are known as Les Lionceaux, lion cubs, and we know lions are in the cat family.
Felines.
Maybe
this is the one that epitomizes it.
If it is a forced change, you're able to bring back your... If it's a forced change, not tactical at this point, it's injury, you can bring on a player who is designated and skilled to play in that position, and that's, I think, what Reda Ben Labad has come on to do, well, knowing that one of his front row partners is not able to continue. The
man that looks like will not be able to continue is Mohamed Yakin Jabari, who's been another tower force and a real juggernaut as far as the power of Algeria is concerned. So number 5, Mohamed Yakin Jabari, is the man that exits, and back in Mohamed Reda Ben Labad take his place.
I wonder where the change is going to be, because that's a front row player for a second row player. What happens when there's a scrum down?
Make for some very interesting reads, but it looks like now it's a needs must here with 10 minutes left to play. From the out here, big kick that puts the ball into touch. The wind really gaining in momentum here at the Mandela National Stadium, as you can evidently see there from the touch judge's flag there.
It's very breezy at the Mandela National Stadium. This is what we know about such regions. We have the Lake Victoria, biggest lake on the continent, just a short border distance away from here, and that breeze from the lake through the plains here, by the time it comes down up the hill rather of Chinawataka, it's with a breeze of an ambole.
You just had to show off about your lake, didn't you? You just had to show.
Uganda is not called the Pearl of Africa for no reason.
Absolutely, and great hospitality that has been charged. There are many of the players that have managed to interact with. We're talking about the fact that they love it out here. Tropical weather. It's a delight if they didn't have to think about the task at hand. And well, we can only say one thing: asante sana, karibuni sana. Feel the African spirit.
You can add merci for the francophone, and shukran for the people who speak Arabic, because Africa is such a celebration of culture that the continent of 54 countries has so much to offer, and yet we still come together as one and put up a unified show that makes us feel. If I looked at a West African, a North African, a Southern African, and how they express themselves, it's not any different from the East Africans that we are.
The reasons for diversions elsewhere in the world are reasons for celebration and unity here in Africa. It's the simplest way you would sum it up. Big kick! And that's put into touch. It's going to be a line out here. Namibia trying to quickly race themselves into the spot as the referee, making sure that everybody sticks to the script.
These set pieces, these penalties are ticking the clock away in favor of Namibia, because every time you have a reset, that's 30 seconds beaten off the clock.
They hold the ball in. Looks like a few shots are dropping, but the owners don't seem to mind out there, as it's now frenetic action in there. You would really not want to be called to call who exactly has the ball here, but the referee has to keep an eye on everything that's happening. Ben Labad is once again... Oh, referee has already pulled out a card. Oh, quickly shoves the red card back into his pocket. For a moment I was worried we would see the first red card of the tournament.
That infringement is not enough for the red card, but Rain Barker again at the back of that maul. But then you get to see Richard Hardwick entering that maul from the side and stopping the forward momentum of the Algerians. He's not happy with the assistant referee and the call, but I think there's been so many infringements at that point that someone had to take the fall for it, and the guillotine has dropped onto Richard Hardwick's back.
I don't think the referee has quickly forgotten the infringement that he had earlier on, where he charged into the back of one of the opponents there a couple of minutes ago. So I think the referee now letting the low down. And once again, it was the altercation again with Ben Lebard. And I think the referee has had enough of his ill temper. Decided to give him a few minutes to cool off.
Ball lost forward by the Algerians at this point. Namibia look like they have the momentum. Algeria need to score twice, but for all the time they've come to this area, they've come up with nothing.
Big kick here to put the ball into touch. It's a line out set to come through. Omo proudly sponsors the Rugby Africa Cup, and as the teams continue to battle in the mud and sweat, remember, that is good, and Omo keeps your jerseys fresh. Join the excitement and chant the team's own. Go Omo, unbeatable on stains. Seven minutes on the clock.
That means Namibia will finish the game with a man disadvantage.
Well, they get the ball on here now. Namibia trying to find a way to carry this one through. Another breakdown. It just doesn't look like it's going Algeria's way anyway right now. They just find themselves in a bit of a predicament. It's a big kick, and that's into the trees. That means it's another line out here. Algeria slowly trekking to the position where they would take that line out. Dejected would probably be the word right now for them. They realize too little too late, irrespective of what happens now.
I mean, 6 minutes on the clock, like we learned from the previous game, is that that's enough time to put up a score. But when you have a team who are not putting a foot wrong, then you begin to worry and worry for your own selves. And you see, at this point, Namibia, all they have to do is wear down the clock, you know, wear down, waste as much time as they can. It's not call it time wasting, but try and spend as much time as they can in the stoppages, in the phases, and then they can slow down the Algerians. One score might be too little, might be too much. Two scores, one score might be too little, but two scores is just enough for them to fight for the remaining 5 minutes.
Andrew Kens comes on here to take the place of Jack Theron. Confirmation. Jackie Theron has had a very instrumental part played in the start of how this game fashioned out, especially in favor of Namibia. Played his role, got his wounds, will have his battle scars to show, but more importantly, making sure that he lays the brick and the mortar for the foundation of Namibia making their step to the final, and maybe, just maybe, an 8th World Cup slot. Flash out onto the wing, and that's a big kick from Leroux Malan.
Yeah, Malan knew that he had the advantage. He was looking for that grass behind the Algerian defense, but you can see how Namibia have been systematic in how they've dismantled this Algerian team. They've not given them a chance at anything. No offloads. We've talked about those double tackles, slowing down at the breakdown and ensuring that they contest. And when you contest, you make more people come in to try and secure the ball. That leaves the ball carriers understaffed, and that's how they've managed to force those handling errors.
Ironic, I would actually think Namibia haven't played their game plan, but rather they came to stifle every possible opportunity for Algeria, and then making sure that in the process, whenever the opportunity presented itself, they were able to capitalize, and in the end, it's worked for them. Not the usual game you'd expect Namibia to play, because normally at times Namibia know how to be a bit expressive, but tonight it's been called methodical and very calculated.
Yeah, they've laid back and weathered everything that Algeria have brought to them. And sometimes that's just what you need to win test games. It doesn't need to look good as long as it gets the job done. Every question that Algeria have asked of Namibia, and just as a reminder, you'll notice that Algeria scored first. They scored the first try of the game, but since then they've not shown up. It's because Namibia have closed all those gaps and ensured that they stay on top.
Reminds you of another team that played earlier in the morning. Cote d'Ivoire scored first, and there was a bit of a chuckle about whether it's possible to have the consolation as the first score. Turns out it was, in that case, Algeria following a similar script.
Scrum collapses again, but this time the penalty goes against the Algerian front row. Haitembu Shikufa fell flat on his face, but it's his opposite number who collapsed that breakdown, that scrum down rather.
Big ball bounces and heads out into touch. In some games, especially the game of basketball, at this point you would have the players conceding and realizing there's not much to do. Rugby, it's up to the very last hooter.
Yeah, 3 minutes is a long time.
There's no shortcut.
2 minutes is a really long time in this game. Something can happen, a sporting miracle of epic proportions.
Well, that would be one to tell for the ages. That's one I would love to narrate to my grandkids, that I was a part of it. But sometimes those, as they are called, miracles, are far and few in between. Substitution here. Bosali, Medi coming on here. And once again, it's the man with the proverbial 9 lives of the cat. Mohamed Reda Ben Lebad
is the most
gets to step off.
Player.
I think he's been subbed on and off about 4 times in this game, 3 or 4 times this time round. Releasing, looking to break, and that's a swift one.
Oh my
right through the middle, hot knife through butter, but loses it out there. Danko Baga, the captain, looking to make an exclamation point on this game. It's a long ball released and kicked into touch, but what an effort there from the captain, Danko Berg.
It was that short ball, and Danko Baga approaching at pace, burst through the line, was looking for that chip and chase, but well charged down by Kaminati, covering that space at the back. The kick out to exit by Hugo Veldu. He felt Namibia at any time in the game would do the quick line out, but they know they need to wear down the clock, and that's what they've done. Take your time, eat about 30 seconds off the clock, and then one phase, kick the ball into touch, and you're into the final.
Seconds here to the end of the game. Line in, delivered well. As they set this one through in just a couple of minutes, 20 to be precise. The second semi-final gets underway. The defending reigning champions, Zimbabwe, will take on the indomitable East Africans in none other than the Kenya Simbas. That game at 4 p.m. East African time. As for the moment, Nadir still has something to say about this particular game. As the hooter for full-time goes there. And once again, Algeria look to streak forward to probably make one final telling contribution to the game. Benjamin Kaminati carrying the ball in.
Yeah, at this point it's just a consolation score. Namibia are in the final, but what do Algeria have to say in this last play?
Released, set to the flank, Benjamin Kaminati. Look to set the ball there. Was looking for Rain Baka, and that will probably sum up what the game has been for them, as the referee brings a close to this one, and it's officially confirmed Namibia will make it to the finals of the Rugby Africa Cup 2025. Algeria looked like they had the makings to put in quite the contest, but constantly finding themselves flat-footed, and everything they had to offer quietly but systematically negated here by the well-pitcher, who were brilliantly skippered by none other than Danko Baga. Andre van der Berg also putting in a telling effort, so much so that Tien Schwanepol barely had any work to put in on today's game, but they still got the job done. Full time at the Mandela National Stadium, Nambole in Kampala, Uganda, in the Rugby Africa Cup 2025. It's Algeria 7, Namibia 21.